We've been in business for like 4.5 years. And honestly, for like the last 2 years, it's been on autopilot and kind of running just like this, mostly flat. And, kind of realize it's time to do something with the business, do something, get it ready to sell, do something, scale it up, make it really profitable. All those are really good things. And I kind of looked at what I had done in the past 2 years and said, I obviously am not getting it done by myself. And it really like benefited from a lot of other people's advice, but really ad hoc, like, oh, this podcast here and this book there and all this kind of stuff. But I thought like, okay, I'm at the point where I want to be really efficient with how I approach this. And yeah, got introduced to you through a couple of different friends. They both recommended chatting with you. And so that's how we got hooked up. From our very first call, you have challenged me to think about why I think about those things or why they're important and how I'm approaching it. And I think that's the secret of like changing your business. We've been in business for 4 years, and for the last 2 years, we've been doing basically the same revenue. For me to think that I can do something different with the business now after that amount of time without changing how I think about the business or my approach to it is silly. And that's the whole point of working with someone, to say like, what you're doing is obviously not working if you want to change your business. It's working for you doing the same thing, but that's not the goal. So I have to get out of my comfort zone, as positive a way as you can put it. When it comes to scaling a productized service, there's like two things you really need, and it's processes and people. And kind of realizing pretty quickly that in a lot of respects we have the right people and we have pretty decent processes, but challenging me to realize that like we have a gap in our team in a couple of ways, and we have gaps in how I think about processes that they should be running. So, they just aren't the fulfillment end of it. They could be the managing end and the hiring end and all of this, to where I can then like rise up another level in the business, which is like, from my experience, when I've been able to do that it provides like a total difference in how the business looks and performs. And so the more I can do that, the better. I like the times when we're really tactical, and like talking through the shorter term of things. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'd say that if they're serious about changing and growing their business, that it's definitely worth looking at, because the things that I've learned are life-changing. I mean, that's dramatic, but they're really changing how I think about myself and my business, and where my business meets my personal life and my life for my family. And that's like the really long-term great stuff. But I think that people have to be really serious about it too, because I came in and sometimes I've been really serious about it and sometimes I haven't been as serious. And that's when like having a coach is really frustrating, because I've had like, personal trainers before. Coach, like you're my business personal trainer. And when I'm not organized or I haven't done my work, it's really frustrating, I think, for both of us. And so I think it's not the like, oh, well, you're just going to waste money every month on having a business coach, but you're just not going to get what you want out of it. You're going to feel bad when you show up for your meeting and you haven't done your work. And Alex is probably going to be like, why am I wasting my time with this guy? Because he's not serious about it. So, I mean, I think you probably have some rules in place about what that means. And that's for a good reason. I am at the point in my kind of life and business where if I approach this right, do the work, plan for our meetings, execute things in between our meetings, that the money I spend, I'll get back many, many times. It's a pretty safe bet. Because I mean, I think business itself is a pretty good financial vehicle. And then things you can do to make your business better just makes that already good financial vehicle even better. It's really been great. I feel very fortunate to get a chance to chat with you and kind of share we share a lot of technical marketing and sales and ops stuff, but we also share a lot of personal and psychological things. It's really nice to be able to share that with someone who's totally objective. And you're totally objective. You're a great guy, but you're totally objective for my business and me. And you ask me to evaluate things from my perspective. And that's great, because you can't get that even from like a mastermind group or a group of businesses that you're a part of or something. People are always going to have their preconceived notions and biases that are influencing what they're saying. And I think like that's maybe the most valuable part of us talking, is that like it's really black and white from your perspective, which is nice.